are watching The Fourth Estate on NTV. We are here every Sunday after the 9 o'clock weekend news, weekend edition for that matter. Please join us or tell your neighbors about it. My panel today is made up of very interesting people. Of course, on my left, Chris Obore, investigations editor at the Daily Monitor. On my right, Frank Tumwebaze, Member of Parliament for Chibade. And then, of course, Angelo Izama, extreme right, who you will know as a writer as well as a political analyst.
Philosopher.
And a philosopher.
What?
You like those things.
And of course, Betty Amongin, Member of Parliament for Oyam South. And she's here to be the voice of reason, I'm sure, in a situation where Chris is coming up with all sorts of unproven conjecture.
Of course, do you have evidence to counter mine?
No.
What I can even tell you,
I don't need to. You're the
I
one
can
who's
even
come up with those
inform you,
stories.
because of those things which are done outside the public eye and build emotions, people begin to fight each other. You have begun to see recently Karamoja MP saying, we don't want the First Lady. They are facilitating the grabbing of our land. Some will say, you know, they are naming a
But you know,
but the woman, let
that?
me tell you, the internal fights within this system, the leaders of this system.
But Chris,
listen,
let's listen to Chris.
Chris. What Janet Museveni, being the First Lady, I don't care, they are all in her, but give credit to her. The woman is doing a lot of things in Karamoja, slowly but surely. If you left her there, she's going to leave Karamoja with the legacy. Who does not want her work to be seen? It is people within NRM. They are fighting that. Now, if I went and investigated, why is this fight there? I trace the fight to personal differences.
which fight?
So what the party, according to, or your party, according to Chris Obore,
Yes.
is a collection of infighting, incoherence, and is unlikely.
That is not true.
Even disagreements over women can become public issues.
You see,
disagreements over women.
Over women. I can give you a story.
Yeah, what's the
Yes.
story?
One of the senior leaders of Fronasa, when they were in Bukoba with the rebel camp, they had a contract in East African Railways in Nairobi. One of them smuggled the wife of their contract in Nairobi to Bukoba camp. One of the made their wife. Another Fronasa person. Listen, I want to give this man fact. Another Fronasa person. Listen. I'm not giving anybody.
We are making the debate. The viewers of this talk show.
Yeah.
You don't want those facts
should really not be offended
Yes.
with the Holocaust of a man.
But that's my point.
He has not even known the
Hold on a second.
Can I express it differently?
The point you asked me.
Hold on.
The point you asked me.
Yes.
NRM.
You
You've alluded to.
you've alluded.
Bet said
Yes.
no party will fail to have contradictions among its members. You saw FDC the other day.
But not over women.
People rushing to
policy.
Please respect the debate.
Yeah.
Let me advance my point. If you are obsessed with women issues, go and concentrate on
That is
that.
actually
Let's
NRM.
discuss substantive matters, please.
We may have to
Now,
remove
the
honorable
contradictions,
mention from
the contradictions you talk about in NRM
Yeah.
have not hindered NRM from advancing. It is the only party people say they are rebel MPs. You get it? You've not seen someone being chased. It is the party where dissent is accommodated. And at the end of the day, people disagree to agree. If you are saying there are people fighting Janet, has Janet complained to you? How come Janet has been able again to achieve what you are giving her credit for? And rightly so, for the first time, thank you.
Because
So,
she's the president's wife.
It tells you
She has her own clout.
which minister has resigned because of internal contradictions. Internal disagreements are healthy for any progressive
Butime
party.
refused even a ministry. Tom Butime refused.
But
But
what does it
Alan,
what does
yeah,
it mean?
that's it.
Alan,
Yes,
That's it.
Angelo. Yes, let's see Angelo out.
Chris is raising a very important issue in political science parlance. It's referred to as patronage politics, neo-patrimonialism, or the personalization of the state.
Right.
In Uganda, it's pervasive. In fact,
But you see,
those of us who worry,
look at the poll and what the polls are saying.
those of us who worry
There are
about transitional pressures in Uganda wonder how institutions will take over from personalities. The DNA, by the way, of Ugandan politics is, like Chris says, about tribalism. It's about personal relations, and the book hasn't been written yet about who is shagging who and what impact it has on the state.
On the state.
And
But
this goes everywhere.
is.
Parliament here, by the way, is like a secondary school where there are no rules as
I thought this debate has times of reference. I don't think this is a
Are you
collection.
guilty?
I don't think this is a collection of debating in a street talk and about, I think, guide us
No,
properly.
but
Yes.
but
No,
but
no,
but
but
I want-
let-
but
let-
I want-
let-
but I- but I
The
want-
research we are discussing is even on other issues.
Right.
but I want to make a serious
Let's-
point.
let's- let's-
I want to
let's-
make a
let's-
serious
let's-
For the
point.
listeners and the
Yes.
viewers.
I want to make a serious point.
Yeah, what's the
that
point?
Personal relations. If you draw a family tree of the political establishment and you map it on state institutions, you will see what I'm talking about. If the party, the ruling party and the state are fused, the ruling party elites who are themselves interact with each other have an impact on the state. All I am trying to give substance to Obore's point about, it's not about conversing.
What does that
it's
do
not
for the
bad-
credibility?
bad-
When you
bad
say,
talk.
does it
let's
do for
talk
the
about
credibility?
this.
It's not
Let's
just
get
bad
it.
talk.
Let's
It's
get it.
not bad
No,
talk. This is real.
It's not bad talk.
What
affecting
does
people.
it do for the credibility of politics and politicians?
But
Do
Alan,
Ugandans-
let me put it to bed here among in like this. Look at the argument that is made against the NRM Secretary General. He's inaccessible.
It's
He's
arrogant.
dour.
It's not really an issue.
You know,
That's
But,
not really an
and I will tell you, why
not really
I
an
find it surprising is that
And that
you,
has not
you,
been
you look
discussed.
you look
Let's
you
wait.
look you look
Yeah,
at you look
but
at
they
you
have
look at the
this information they're
performance.
trading.
You look at the performance of this party under this current Secretary General. I quoted at the beginning that you had more people voting in the NRM primaries than in the national election. The
They're overseen by
level,
the Secretary
the
General.
level of organization, even respected by the opposition, as rudimentary as it is, it brought this party of Frank Tumwebaze to political victory at a rate of 10% more than the last election.
Yeah, we need to get to
But
that point.
then when you get to the conversation within the party, you hear what kinds of issues are being considered. You would think that this Secretary General had lost them an election.
But he had won them an election. That's
Yes,
interesting.
yes,
But
yes.
okay, it's important that I bring in Betty right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
What does this do for the credibility as well of politicians, as well as far as perception is concerned by
Ugandan
do
politicians.
Ugandans actually trust their politicians? Do they trust their leaders, or are they just involved in this relationship?
I think
of
this
coexistence
debate,
that
the
doesn't make
debate
sense?
being brought by Obore is a debate around journalists.
I think so. That's how they do their newsroom studies.
Yes.
For us, at the level
Because
of
we watch
parliament,
you.
at the level
What
of
you do.
parliament, at the level of the public domain, we see that the credibility, taking from the research, that the credibility of parliament has improved
Yeah.
because of the way Honorable Kadaga handles parliament. And it is not only this research, by the way, series of research has now said Ugandans rate parliament as the top institution performing.
But that's because of the media
therefore,
coverage of parliament.
two,
Yeah, but does the media cover air?
Is it- yeah,
The
let's-
media
let's-
covers
let's-
issues.
Yeah,
Let's make
two,
the point.
the issues taken in this parliament.
Surprised members who
the
police
oil
for coverage
issue.
today is talking like
Hold on.
never
No,
has
no, no,
coverage.
no. Let's look at how parliament has influenced the debate in this country over the last 1 or so years.
But does parliament
The-
influence debate, or does the media influence debate?
No, parliament, if we don't talk, what are you going to
What
report?
are
What
you going to-
are you
Yeah.
going
We
to
will cover
write?
bad
If
blood.
we don't bring the
They
core
will delve
issues on the
into the
table,
Obore's
By the
story.
way,
you are going to be rumor
by the
mongering.
way,
Is the personalization of politics important at all, Betty?
To me,
Does it interfere with the way the state operates, as Chris has endeavored and Angelo has also tried to portray or to say?
to me, the context within which Chris brought it, I wouldn't agree with it, because to him it's about who is moving out with who, and how does it impact on their activities and so on. I think to me,
and whose son gets a job where?
and whose son is targeting marrying whose daughter to get a job where. No, I think we need to look at the broader issue of how is the person working. Well, people have asked
What do
the
you
issue
mean?
of Janet Museveni and the husband being a president and Janet being a minister. Now, for us, we said, why don't you judge Janet on her own, not because she is a wife to Museveni?
Because as on her own, she's done well.
She has
in
done
many
well,
ways.
and everybody acknowledges nationally that she has done well. So to me, the issue...
So why don't you in the UPC vote her for president?
Okay.
No, that's not the issue.
Alan,
We
What's
are-
the issue?
Alan.
Let her finish her point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the issue. The issue is we judge, somebody's personal life make the person perform or not perform?
Okay,
Alan,
before you come in, I want to bring in Angelo. And is she being too dismissive of this? The personalization of politics. What has been your experience? Do you agree with what she's saying, first of all?
I mean,
Is it as important as... is it more important than she's portraying it to be?
Well, ideally, if you're comparing advanced societies and those that are still advancing, you'll see that institutions in these developed societies are blind. In Africa and in parts of Asia, you still have got, patronage being a huge part of the behavior of public institutions. We could get the details of how that patronage operates, but I don't think that you want to support, you want to encourage increased personalization of politics. My own disappointment is when I look at my colleagues, Betty, guy has a PhD from Harvard, comes back to Uganda. He still thinks that the best way to go around and be successful is to find out which minister's unmarried daughter is available. When you find that the culture is to invest much more in those things, then there is a problem. And I think that when you look at Uganda's transition from this place we are to 20 years from now, we have to move away from personalities.
Alan, the question of personalizing the politics stems from the point of individual merit. That's why, for example, Betty tells you, in Lango, she can be voted, she's UPC, others can be voted against.
But the 5 generals
Museveni is voted.
The 5 generals are from the same tribe, the same region.
First, hold on. Let's go systematically. So the question of people looking at the individual as opposed to the party, as opposed to the institution, I think that's the kind of solutions we should be looking for to cure the problem. Allow me a moment. You talked of personalization of politics, which presupposes that the role of individuals is more predominant than the role of parties and institutions. And I think if society must move
are the
forward,
parties solid enough to...
Thank you so much. They can't be solid. We've just entered into a multi-party dispensation. Now, my argument, even
so
as
the
we started,
personalities have to take precedence at this point.
My argument since we started this debate is we would rather actually, like you do on a computer, we should be bolding more and highlighting the parties and allowing the individuals to phase out. Because parties live longer than
so
individuals.
So you'd like to see an erosion of Museveni?
Not
phasing
at all.
out of Museveni?
Not at all. Museveni is a good leader. He has put a solid foundation for
but
the
he's also a very huge personality.
For sure, yes, that's true. But the point I'm telling you is that if Ugandans are to transit from looking at persons and what they can do as individuals to trust the parties, it will depend on the kind of issues we advance, even for discussion like on this platform. You get the point? People would want to know. You said it. People don't read manifestos, but they can be induced to read manifestos. They can be helped to understand.
Whose job is that? It's the job of the body politic.
Thank you so much. The media, the forces state, everybody. They can be told what is the difference between NRM and FDC. But when you have a body simply saying, these people are disagreeing over women, trivializing the whole fundamentals, it makes people listening or viewing this show to not even to understand the politics. And for that reason, any research, however good intention it may be, it's bound to pick misinformed responses.
What about you, Chris? He's making a strong point here. Take that rubbish to a tabloid somewhere. Those are not the issues Ugandans should be talking about.
Let me dismantle their arguments.
Ugandans are more concerned about the food.
Angela's made
their livelihood.
By the way,
their livelihood.
There are now listeners who don't want to listen to you. So let them listen to me.
Okay, what's your point?
Angela's made it clear in summary that people are using personal relations to crawl into power, to crawl into positions of privilege. This is what we are discussing. We are saying it is wrong to use personal relations to come and determine public affairs.
But you have long
now,
over that.
Can you reign on this indisciplined NRM members? So among he says, makes the point clearly, but brings a contradiction. Yeah. That you see, we said Janet is Museveni's wife. Why should they be in cabinet? So they talk about Muhoozi. we will not say that judge them as individuals.
Janet was
But-
elected in Ruhama.
But listen, can I make a
Yes.
point? But listen,
You have about-
she
you
now,
have 10
she
seconds,
now
20
confirms
seconds, yeah.
that she's doing well as a minister in her own merit, which I agree.
And Muhoozi
But-
doing well
but
as a soldier.
But she can't answer the question why the same NRM MPs from Karamoja are talking against her. So what doing well is she doing? Now I give you a point that because there are personal differences, perhaps she faces with some members of NRM, now they are beginning to outmaneuver each other. A woman who's doing well in Karamoja, her activities in Karamoja are not highlighted in the
Ultimately,
media.
ultimately
that's
the question
also
that I asked at the
presumption.
beginning.
During the NRM caucus electing Ayala, she even refused to shake hands of the Karamojong MPs
No,
because she was
please,
angry.
No, please.
No,
Oh,
I
boy.
think-
She's,
I-
you're
No.
saying she's doing
Alan,
well.
Alan,
They are saying
let me
she's
help
not doing
you.
well.
Yes.
Let me help you.
Very quickly,
I was
you have
in
about
the
20
caucus.
seconds, yes.
Trying really to rumamonga and speculate over
Stop
issues.
spreading lies to be relevant to your
I was
party.
in the caucus.
Yeah.
No, but
You were
you're a liar.
nowhere.
We are
You were
not being a
nowhere.
liar.
You were a worse liar.
No.
You were rumamonga. You peddle. You survive
No,
on peddling lies.
Gentlemen.
When you peddle lies,
Yeah, say it.
when you peddle lies
Say it.
and profit from it, you believe them yourself. You become a liar to your own self and to your own conscience. Just raise this debate issues.
Answer me.
Are there
Yes.
white
Can
lies?
I answer?
Hold on a
Listen,
second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
MPs
Yes.
Gagging against
Can
Janet
Hold on
I
a second.
What do you mean by
that?
ganging?
Why are
What do
they?
you mean by
Did they
ganging?
address the media?
Which
So we are
media?
found now.
Which
One
Can I
media?
even walk
answer?
Hold on a
over
second.
office
Which media?
talking against her.
This
And these
issue-
are NRM
the debate
MPs.
we
I
had
want to
today,
answer.
Okay,
the debate we
hold on a
had
second.
today was
Hold
to
on a second.
analyze a research report. You
Yes,
get it?
yes.
To bring in intellectual analysis to what the research got from the field. If you are disabled to do that, shut up.
What is the
No, can I
Let's have the last
make this
word
point?
here.
Please,
Let's have
can
the
I
last word here.
No, the
You
context.
speak, you have sense.
No. What I want to state is that the analysis you make on the Karamoja outrage, the MP's outrage,
Make it really quickly, we run out
cannot
of time.
necessarily be because
But they were
they're
shaking hands the other day.
because they're
Okay,
against
thank you, thank you,
Janet
thank you
Museveni.
very
You're
much.
saying she's a
Thank
good
you.
performer.
Chris,
Don't they see it as
Chris.
MPs from Karamoja
Chris,
who
I
are
have to stop you all
NRM?
the time.
They are NRM.
Restrain this man.
Hey, I'm taller than you.
I'm
I'm taller than you.
You know,
You guys, I'm
you know,
taller
Alan,
than all of you,
you
so
know,
you have to
Alan,
really
you
learn
know,
to
Alan,
listen to me.
For me, really, I want to stick to the issue.
We
there
need
is-
to finish now, though.
Now, as I wind up for me,
Finish now, now, now.
Ugandans need to be exposed to what fundamentals, to what principles is democracy building all about.
Not rumors.
Not rumors,
But
not
what you're putting is
trivializing,
politics like
not
you.
trivializing issues to reduce them to really street talk, to bar talk.
Okay, fair enough.
Democracy
Thank
can't
you.
be
We're gonna
built
leave
on
it there.
that.
My name is Alan Kasujan. I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. Chris, I'm talking now. I'm talking now.
But it's going to stand.
Betty
We'll have
Amongen,
to.
thank you very much for coming.
You
Member
got
of
the ministerial
Parliament.
point.
Chris Obore, the man who
You are
never
looking
shuts
for a
up.
job in
Thank you very
cabinet.
much. And I'm going to say thank you very much to Frank Tumeba, the Member of Parliament for Chibale County.
Next time,
Angelo,
nobody's here, don't invite me.
You have the
Angelo
cabinet job, they
Izamba,
refuse.
thank you very much as well. Was he denied a cabinet job?
Completely.
That's the next rumor you have.
Even the name went. You cried.
Until
before
next
us.
time, thank
Before
you.
you for what?
With some of your colleagues.